There's only 2 episodes left of this show. Where's the captain? A bite of this food. Captaining.
It's just Wrecker being crazy every time.
I think I'm a record. I'm a record. I don't know where this is going, but 2 seconds into the episode, we're gone.
Yes.
Just say on your Nate. Lean in and he goes, on your left.
On your left.
Just throwing out
Randomly
quotes.
throwing in other franchises.
Whatever you can think of.
We got Wreck-It Ralph. We've got Captain America.
It's so great.
Steve Rogers. 'Cause I guess
Steve Rogers. True.
Yeah, Sam. Nate, what is this show and where can
Welcome
people find us?
back
Where can
to
they
the-
find
Where
us?
can they find us?
Wrap it up.
Welcome back
Let's
to the
get
Star
it.
Wars Guys podcast. As always, we are your host, Mike.
Hello there.
Myself, Nate. Hello there. And you know him well, Uncle.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Back together again for the first time
It's
in 2024.
See it.
been a while.
No.
See it
Well,
it's been a couple
again
weeks.
for the first time. What was the Star
See it
Wars?
again. For
See
the
it
first
again for
time.
the first time, yeah.
That's kind of like us.
Yeah, just when you thought it was safe to go back
We
in
are-
space. Is that when that was? No, that
No,
was,
that's no one can hear you scream.
that's exactly
That's,
right. Yeah.
If a tree falls in the woods,
Does
well,
anybody
that's just,
die?
That's just a thing. I do feel like this is Star Wars Guys Special Edition because I feel like maybe I'll have a little bit more special effects.
Oh, nice.
Right.
we just start getting effects.
De-aging.
on the
Right when I
screen.
start
We're just-
talking,
Uncle de-aging is
they
going
cut to my single shot, and it's just a bunch of rocks around me because George just always had more rocks around R2 when they're hiding from the job.
just putting more rocks
It's one of the funniest things on the internet of Star Wars, like making fun of that. That's in good taste. Is if you ever look up the George Lucas version of the Force Awakens trailer. Somebody put this out there as like a joke, and it said like if
Just a ton.
it's the Force Awakens, the first teaser trailer of Finn like wakes up in the desert and he's breathing, and it's just like stormtrooper
see
shots. But then
Oh,
it's,
CGI
someone
behind
added
him.
all this stuff where at the end when the Falcon comes through and the main Star Wars theme comes on, the Falcon comes towards the screen and there's like a TIE fighter that someone then adds like 10,000 TIE fighters and it's all flying and BB-8's rolling, but there's a bunch of rocks. Like just he's like during his little just shot, it's like 20 rocks all around him. It's just completely intentional over CGI is.
Mhm.
I think it's funny.
That's great.
It's good stuff.
George, love the CGI.
Love it.
Well, welcome back to Star Wars Guys. Before we get into it, I got to mention this podcast episode is sponsored by LegionSabers.com. Is your lightsaber a fragile toy? LegionSabers.com sells battle-ready NeoPixel sabers that can take a beating in style with features like Flash on Clash, Smooth Swing, and gesture controls. Upgrade your saber today and experience the lightsaber battles your inner child has always dreamt of. But there's more. This month, buy a saber, get a free mystery baselit saber for free. Free mystery saber for free with
Nice.
the code Star Wars Guys.
Star Wars Guys.
Got our own code.
Love
Use
it.
code Star Wars Guys. Visit LegionSabers.com today. Again, use code Star Wars Guys at LegionSabers.com for battle-ready NeoPixel lightsabers.
Nice.
Legion Sabers.
You got some of those.
Got some of them. They're
really-
great.
They're really
They're
great.
great. Yeah, they're
And you can
they're a
actually
lot of fun.
do duels with them. They're not just showpieces. You can
battle ready.
you can go.
Oh yeah, you can take them with you. If you're
That's cool.
cosplaying, you're going anywhere. You just want to be the cool guy at the party. Provide some lightsabers.
I want to be
I've
the
been
cool guy at
there.
the party.
I've been there. I provide lightsabers. It's a good time.
Yeah,
Good time.
it's awesome.
You say you've been there? I've been the cool guy at the party.
Well, not the cool guy. Just
It's pretty great.
It is a great place to be.
Just providing lightsabers. It's fun.
Yeah.
That's
Seeing
great.
people swinging around. I'm like, embrace Star Wars the way I like it.
Love it.
Remember when there used to be geeks that carried lightsabers? Remember that?
Yep.
Now you're the cool guy.
I walk
Yeah.
in a Target and Target's marketing says, "Idiot, buy the Star Wars thing. You have to buy it." Whoa.
It's
That's
in the
just
cool
all
guys
over.
section.
It is. It
The
is.
cool guys. It is. Now you got the Funko section at Target.
How
You
come they don't
got
have
the
the
cool
Star
guy-
Wars guys section over there? We gotta get on
Star
that.
Wars guys? Yeah, we need
True.
our merch.
When are they gonna
this
put
is
that
well, they're gonna restock the Not My Kathy tees.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Not My Kathy.
That's true.
Oh.
Gaff.
I'm excited to get into it. Before we get into Bad Batch, guys, I went to
Oh, tell us.
the symphony.
Oh, you did.
Played The Last Jedi.
Oh my
Hey,
goodness!
I was not
Wait
invited.
They
a
played The Last
second.
Jedi, the whole movie with the
Live
live
orchestra?
symphony
Oh,
doing the
man.
music throughout the whole thing. It was incredible. It was incredible. So good.
Did,
I had to like watch, but also like
Yeah.
because I mean I love
course.
the movie.
It's impressive.
So I'm getting drawn into the movie, but then I'm like
Impressive.
I'm sitting there quoting it because I know it all, and then I look down, I'm like,
Wait a
oh wait,
minute.
it's
happening
playing
live.
I'm watching them. I'm like, this is just
Isn't it shocking
so good
how much they're playing the entire time?
the whole time.
It's not like, oh, every 10 minutes we're going to play a famous theme from. It's
Mhm.
like
Every
every single
music
scene.
note,
They're
like every
carrying.
even just
Yeah.
like the
it's
random
awesome.
like
It's so cool.
da 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 like
Mhm.
it's just them on the strings.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's incredible. It was awesome.
And what was your take on The Last Jedi? Seeing it now almost 7 years?
Yeah, why would they do that one?
Almost 7 years. Are they
Why would they make
Are they
that
trying to
one?
make fights erupt in the a bunch of
It's so good.
a bunch
It's
of
awesome.
simps? Is that what a symphony?
It's
Yeah,
so
they're-
good.
A simps?
The pieces are called simps.
Yeah, a
The
bunch of
simps.
simps are
Oh,
just being thrown.
the
on.
One of the okay, so you guys will love this.
Simpsons.
You guys will love this.
Simpsons.
Simpsons. No, you guys will love this. So at the symphony, well, one, not only I mean, there was tons of people that actually dressed up. I've got pictures like
Oh, that's great.
Oh,
there was
yeah.
Boba Fett came with Fennec Shan,
No
just
way.
full costumes.
That is
Just
awesome.
People wore them. People brought their own things. Full Kylo Ren and Rey.
That's
and
great.
People just one of them they had they had one of the guards. And
Really?
It was, yeah.
Praetorian
the
Praetorian
oh,
Guard.
the
Praetorian
red-
guards,
mhm.
just full like armor,
Oh my
everything,
goodness.
and like was sitting there like basically and then if you walked over to get a picture, then they would like move and like do a picture with you. And they were
Wow.
just going back.
That's
It
awesome.
was really
With
cool.
their laser nunchucks.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then one of the things you guys will love, Last Jedi, obviously, some people love it, some people don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
When you're at like the internet's very loud, right? And so it makes it feel like there's like a majority of fans don't like these things. When you're in an environment around people that just love Star Wars, couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is. We're watching The Last Jedi, and all of the little like tidbits or moments that some of these people would criticize, and that's
Yeah.
how Star Wars always is. You're like,
Yeah.
oh well, this
Right.
part maybe not my favorite. That line maybe didn't
Mhm.
come off the best, but because it's Star Wars, and that's just kind of the nature of part of what Star Wars is. In those moments, the whole place erupts and laughing and cheering and all this.
Yeah,
like
I
in
love
those
it.
moments that a
Yeah.
lot of people online like criticize or whatever. The whole
Right.
place is loving it.
That's
Like
awesome.
all these fans together, listening to the symphony, watching The Last Jedi, and they're just like taking it in,
That's
laughing
awesome.
and cheering. It
That's
was so
awesome.
great.
We got to see Empire Strikes Back live. Same thing with the symphony a few years ago. And it was impressive how difficult, because they said this is
Oh
a
yeah.
very difficult piece. We're not just
Yeah.
up here. John
They're
Williams
like, show us
writes
some grace.
music
because
that is
this
unbelievably difficult. And they
Yeah.
got to play it live to the video, and they're synced up. And
Yeah.
it's so great.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And they play it perfectly.
Oh yeah.
Unreal.
They said the same thing. Yeah, they're
They
like,
did?
this is just show us some grace because this
This is hard.
this is
We
very
would rather be
difficult to
playing
do.
Beethoven right now.
Yeah.
It's easier. Yeah.
Like this is very difficult to do just these, pieces on their own, yet alone hitting the timing throughout the whole movie.
And playing the whole. Oh,
Playing all
man.
of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They take an intermission?
They did.
Yeah, because to play that would kill you.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I
Straight
think it was
through?
they did about an hour and 30 minutes straight. Then they did a 20-minute intermission, came back and did another
Man.
hour of the movie or whatever the last 50
Unbelievable.
minutes or so, and
That this is kind of related, but it's also unrelated. I was chuckling over here if you saw me laugh because I was thinking of this reminds me of this Norm Macdonald joke where he was talking about I think he was talking about Beethoven, and he's not the dog, by the way, for any of you big Beethoven movie fans.
That's a
out there.
different podcast.
Yeah. But he's talking about Beethoven, and it's like this little one-liner joke that he has. And he said, you think Beethoven sits? He was talking about being in the mindset of Beethoven when you're writing these famous pieces of music. And he said, I'm sure the first thing he does is he sits down at his piano and he looks around. He's got his pen and paper, and he goes, boy, I better make this hard as bleep to play.
Gotta make this hard.
It's like that's his only
That's the
concern.
goal.
That's his only goal is I better
Has
make
to be
this
so
super
hard to
to
play.
It's so funny.
I'm
You're
laughing
saying
at
it being hard.
That's awesome.
That's the first thing that popped in my mind. Is know what I'm saying.
I'm thinking of the people out there going, this is Bad Batch thing, right?
Have they
Star
mentioned
Wars guy's Bad Batch.
Batch?
Honey, is there something wrong with our computer? Because it says Bad Batch Star Wars guys, and they're not talking about that yet.
This guy just said bleep. We have to bleep out the bleep.
Remember the Super Friends
True.
from the 70s? You guys don't remember that?
I know the Super
I'm
Friends.
just thinking another tangent.
I'm aware of it.
I'm aware of it.
Yeah. I
It's
don't
a
remember
thing.
the 70s.
I don't remember the stuff.
Although Abigail always likes my running thing. Whenever I start talking about like movies that I grew up with or TV shows, recently I got into a long thing about. Do you know what I'm gonna say?
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
She always
Because
laughs.
this kid does this
Brady
all the
Bunch?
time.
Laughs, but when I
No,
talk about the movies that I grew up with,
Yeah.
and someone usually will ask like if it's someone I don't know that well. Oh, like you watched all those movies? Like when were you born? I was like, well, I was born in the 90s, but I grew up in the 80s. Is my always so that makes no sense except that I grew up on
I was born in the 90s,
a
but I
lot
grew
of
up
the
in the
movies that the 80s
Yeah.
kids grew up on. So not even just 80s movies. In fact,
Yeah.
a lot of them are 70s movies,
They were.
60s and 70s.
Rocky,
movies. Rocky.
70s and 80s. Yeah.
I wasn't a young child when I was watching The Godfather, but like watched those
Yeah.
years ago and like all like very Back to the Future's
the
80s.
Future.
But
You didn't start with those?
Jaws,
waited
obviously
on that one.
Jaws,
Yeah.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Some of these that people who also were born around the same time as me had friends that were like, Back to the Future, what's that?
What
and
is
I would
that?
be like, what's
You
that?
kidding me?
What's
You
that?
kidding me? I remember going to the premiere when I was
No.
-6.
Negative
I think
six.
so, the premiere.
And of course, Star Wars.
And of course,
Star Wars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Bad
Yeah.
Batch is a show we should talk
We
about.
should
Bad
talk
Batch.
about. It's
Yeah.
coming.
There are 2 episodes
Two.
left. This was episode 13.
What was the
Season 1.
Why not
16 episodes. Right?
Yeah.
So?
Season 2, 16 episodes.
Yeah.
Season 3.
Season
15
3,
episodes.
15
Maybe they'll
episodes.
surprise us and
May
They got the lost
1st.
episode.
drop another one.
May the 1st is the finale. 'Cause
Oh,
I screenshotted
man.
this. That
May the
someone,
1st. They got to get it done by
They don't wanna
May
overlap.
4th.
Somebody screenshotted their May Star Wars plans and says, Star Wars fans get ready for a crazy 4 days in May. May 1st, finale of Bad Batch. May 2nd, recover from the finale of Bad Batch. May 3rd, the 25th anniversary screening of The Phantom Menace in theaters.
Going to that.
May 4th, 6 episodes of Tales of the Empire. All in those 4 days. So we're getting close, though. When you look at the dates, and
Yeah.
you're like, today's the 18th.
Crazy.
We've got 2 episodes of Bad Batch left. We always like to start with kind of overall reactions.
Yeah, overall thoughts.
So we'll start with first Uncle
Oh.
Fake
Yes.
Yes.
Let me get some gold bracelets.
Yes. Oh.
I think the last episode, this one and the
Yeah.
one before it, it feels like this is what the Bad Batch was made for.
Mm.
So first we're breaking into an Imperial prison, right? And now we've got to sneak onto an Imperial ship,
Yep.
track it, figure out where they're going.
Just latch onto it as it goes
How much
to light
easier
speed.
would these
Perfect. It's
missions
all
have been with tech?
Oh my goodness.
I was thinking about that.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
they're struggling.
they're needing
Echo,
to-
can you do
they're
it?
calling
Tech
in
would be
Echo
like-
to try and go do it.
That's
Tech
right.
would have had that thing cracked
I know.
remotely.
I know.
He wouldn't have had to
Got
go
this.
on there.
But it feels great. The sneaking around,
The breaking
having
the
to
villain
sneak
out
in,
to
get the
do
villain
Yeah.
out to
the-
help, and helping the bad guy, helping the
Yeah.
good guys.
And they what do they say?
So great, the-
How can I trust you? Or how can I trust you? So you have to because
just
we
have
have to
to.
trust you.
right.
I love when
Loved it.
Rampart's like, this was not the plan. Like, plans change.
Let's change.
Yeah.
Go with it.
So overall,
Rampart
All
is
the
bad.
again the
Also-
music. We don't talk about this enough, but the music has
Music's
been
great.
It's so good.
it's a different level. It's been fantastic.
It's so good.
And
agreed.
I just think it's been the last few have been awesome. And we're not covering like huge ground as far as canon goes.
Yeah.
But it feels like this is their strength. These guys are doing
Yeah.
what they're
Yes.
made to do. It's all to get Omega. It's awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah, I loved
Love it.
I loved Rampart's moment too, and he said he gets his chance to be officer again.
Yeah.
And go off
I've
on
missed
the guy.
this.
Although
I
he-
missed this.
So he was like, I was vice admiral.
Yeah.
Tough.
It's like
Like,
Captain.
Well, you got
Uniform.
demoted.
I can't wait. You got demoted. Like, actually, you got banished. Yeah,
He got
completely kicked out.
banished.
You're lucky we got you
My
anyway.
vice admiral.
I like that, and I really liked the armor change.
You had to,
I
had
thought
to
it
cover
was
it
cool.
Up.
Strip them.
Covering it
Yeah,
up,
can't
they
show
went
it.
and just because one of the things I loved about Crosshair's armor
Mhm.
was that all black, like kind of gray spotted look,
Mm-hmm.
showing that he was kind of that was part of like him still being with the Empire
Yeah.
and kind of that sort of resemblance. But now them going in and posing as Imperial troopers or like a special ops, basically Imperial troop. It's cool seeing them in the all black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was cool. Another Funko they'll drop.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
True.
Every time
Every
they do
armor
Why not?
change
a
is
thing
more
like that.
merchandise.
Get a
So
different one.
Yeah, definitely is. I also really loved this episode. I think that the last two almost feel like they could be one big episode
Mm-hmm.
because it is like we're getting Rampart out. We're now doing the mission for what Rampart is supposed to be there for, which is get them to Tantus. Like, and in the way that they've been doing kind of the tension moments this season, I love that I really don't know if they're going to succeed in the moment.
That's
I do
right.
kind of have an idea that I feel like by the end of this series, there's going to
Yeah.
be. We kind of have some idea. We think of what's going to happen on Tantus, and for at least part of it, we don't know who's going to survive, but we do think there's going to be some sort of, free the clones that are there, free the children that are there, hopefully shut down or at least significantly delay the Project Necromancer.
Yep.
yeah,
In a way that's like sets them way back, because it's not like, oh well, then we'll just do it a little bit later. Like feels like
It's like,
Tantus
yeah,
itself
up.
is going to
Like
be
30
destroyed.
yeah.
It feels like that's where this is headed.
Right.
So
we're gonna find out Tech survived. He snuck on to the Death Star.
We'll get to some of the
Oh.
tech
Stuck onto
stuff
the Death
because
Star and
there's
just
only
blew
two.
it.
He's already.
We'll get to some specifics as far as tech and predictions or anything like that. Because I know people still are wondering who's
The assassin guy is?
What's it? C2, CA2?
Yeah, we didn't see him this.
We didn't see him at
episode.
all. We haven't gotten. I don't know if maybe in the finale we'll get some of Rex and the other crew like joining because they'll need
Yeah,
help with with Echo being connected to this. Like it feels like that's still their lifeline to Rex and the others.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
pulling him in or having some help, or maybe it is just Bad Batch and Echo having to do this. on their
Echo
own.
goes and leaves the batch, and then it turns out he's just comes back with them and does
Pull me right
missions.
He's just tech, but not as good. They're like, we lost tech, and he's like, well, I've got this little arm thing that goes in like C3P or that goes in like R2, so I can maybe get the garbage
He's not as
chute.
fast though.
Get the garbage chute.
That's true. He's not as fast.
He's not as
He's
fast.
trying to crack the code. He can't get it very quickly.
Mm.
What's your story, Yellow Eyes? No, she just calls him something else.
Yellow
like, it's 'cause
Eyes.
it's brown
Yeah.
eyes. What if they all like, we all have brown eyes?
We all
We're
They all-
clones.
They all look every time.
Oh, the same eyes.
Every single time she says,
Wait a second.
she says brown eyes. Every single one of them is like, yes,
Yes.
We're all clones. No, I'm loving where it's going. I am feeling a little bit now of the clock of we've got 2 episodes. I really hope that the finale is longer than 22 minutes.
Yeah.
Or whatever this episode
I
was.
think it
Yeah.
will be.
I think it will too.
I think they made 15 because
It's a
of the
big one.
timing of what's coming. Maybe
Yeah.
after. So I think the last one will be 2.
I think so. I think so
It's
too.
I think
12
I think it's
it's
going
12
to be
minutes.
a double episode.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if it's not 40 minutes or something like that,
Yeah.
which is double really for this show because
Mhm.
when you think of it, I think this episode was it 25 minutes with the credits?
Yeah.
So it was a short one even for this show. It was
Mhm.
like a 21 minute, 22 minutes, which although for the
Yeah.
animated shows, again, I have a very different feeling for the animated shows and for live action as
Yeah.
far as pacing and timing. while I'm super excited for hopefully a longer finale in 2 episodes from now, I don't feel always in these shows after 25 minutes like, oh man, that was it. I mean, I did feel like this one felt a little bit shorter.
Mhm.
When it ended, it was
Yeah.
kind of like, oh wow, that was kind of an abrupt. Or like it kind of felt when they went off that would be the end of
Yeah.
it. But it did feel like, oh man, that
It
kind of
came
flew
up.
by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think that when it's that short on the live action stuff, it feels a lot more noticeable because you're not
for
used
sure.
to that with live action shows.
For sure.
I'm
Yeah.
programmed internally. I don't watch hour-long animated shows. Like
Right.
I
Yeah.
can't name any hour-long animated shows I consistently was
Yeah.
watching. But growing up, I always watched half-hour shows.
Yep. That's good.
Yeah.
So I think it's when you're, going back and forth, it feels different. But these feel like the pace is great. I do love that it's not. While it has big stakes to it, like you said, it doesn't feel. I like that it's focused on our crew, on the main crew. I
Yeah.
don't mind that it feels like a something that has huge stakes at the end with Tantus and the Emperor and thwarting some big plan, while also feeling like this is a contained story that's not like
Yeah.
who's our Jedi of the week that has to come in to join
Yeah.
them to make it a big thing. It's
We don't
like
need to break
Yeah.
huge new ground.
No,
we need
just
to keep
like
the story
keep
going.
us
Yeah.
keep giving us more development on Omega, which they're doing right now. Like I love
I love how
how
they said
confident Omega
her
is.
name's Omega.
Yeah, they did say Omega,
Just my
very
accent.
strong. I started when
Omega.
they said her name's Omega. I immediately thought and sat there and thought, I've been mispronouncing this the whole time. Like,
Maybe it is
is it
Omega.
actually Omega? Like, is someone with just an American accent?
Well, if it is, Hunter's been saying it wrong the whole time.
Yeah,
Who?
exactly. I was like,
Gotta find Omega.
we gotta find
Yeah,
Omega.
that's true.
What if she's like, no, that's my accent.
No.
Don't- you can't steal that. That's mine.
You talk
Guys,
funny.
we got
love
Anakin
it.
Skywalker and Captain Rex in the chat.
Whoa, we were
Hey,
just talking
we
about
were just
Rex.
talking-
Anakin Skywalker,
Gotta get
what
in
up,
there.
Star Wars guys?
What's
going
up?
on? What's up? What's up?
Good
Captain
morning.
Rex says, Anakin, welcome back. Rex and Anakin
All right.
reunited in our chat.
That's
Hello,
awesome.
Anaheim.
I'm
Hello, Anakin.
Welcome.
Oh, it's.
What are you guys thinking
I
about
want
Bad
more.
Batch? Yeah, I agree. Overall thoughts. It's
I
it's
love-
good. Good direction.
I loved. I was like, oh, this is so great. If you go back and watch that last sequence where they're going to connect up and they're
Yeah,
waiting,
that's really cool.
the cuts are like, boom, 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 boom. It's really, they really build it. It's great.
They
Yeah.
did. They build this.
I thought the way it was
suspense
edited
very-
was very, very good.
Also, I love where Hunter's character is at right now.
Mm.
It's like
Yeah.
he's always been about protecting Omega, but like even in this moment, he's like, he's like Echo's he's gonna do it.
Mhm.
He's gonna succeed, and I'm going.
Yeah.
It's like
You're seeing.
we're either gonna die doing this right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. We're all gonna die, or Echo's gonna come through. But I know he's gonna come through.
Mhm.
And it was like a mindset of I have faith in him that he's gonna come through. But also, this is our only
We don't have any
opportunity to
choice.
ever
There's no
see
choice.
to ever get
Yeah.
Omega. It's our only
Yeah.
option, regardless.
Do
so we have to
or
do it.
die. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like the last
Isn't that what
few.
Yoda said?
I think that's what it was.
Or die.
Or die. Wait a minute. Why do I have to die? No, I think we're seeing Hunter being Hunter. For a while, it felt like he was a little out of sorts. Like, where do I fit into this thing?
Yeah, it did.
And
Especially
now-
with Omega's relationship with Crosshair,
Right.
and yeah.
Now we're seeing his strengths: leading, adapting, pushing
Yeah.
when it's right, pulling back when it's not. It's been
What episode was
Right.
it where they reminded us all that they had certain abilities a couple weeks ago? Like Hunter, you're the tracker. Wrecker, you're the.
This is what makes you all special.
The
In
evolution
fact,
is-
wasn't it Cross?
you're different from the rest of the batch. You're the bad batch. Like, it was like real quick. If you were joining the show,
The
very,
Fellowship
very,
very
of the
late.
Batch.
This is a recap of
so
who
known
each
as
character
the
is.
Fellowship
And
of
now
the
I
Ring.
shall say the title.
And also, I'm looking for Neo in the Matrix. Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Yeah,
Yeah, it's the show. We
but
can
you're
go
right. I
anywhere.
think he does seem to be finding his role, I guess. In this.
Cool.
And-
Which was great because it really was a lot of Crosshair taking on the I think that one of the big surprises of this series, especially this season, was especially for the first half of this season, the Crosshair becoming the parental, like the adult with the child relationship being Crosshair and Omega, even when they got back because of what they went through,
Mm-hmm.
that early in the show, season 1, if you were to say, oh yeah, there'll be very significant moments of just Crosshair and Omega having emotional. You'd be
Like,
like,
why?
Why? It doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
But then it also at the time felt like because of that, Hunter had to be sidelined a bit because
Yeah.
that was his.
Well, not
he
only
was,
that, they
he
even
was the
had
dad of the group.
not only
And
that,
now
they
it's
even
kind of
showed him in
coming back.
conflict.
Yeah,
Not only
because of it.
sideline, they actually showed him and Crosshair
Actually,
having
we're butting
conflict
heads
with
because
each-
of it.
Because of it, yeah.
I like the difference. I like Omega's. One of my favorite parts of the episode, I think, was when Omega turned to the children. What are you laughing for?
Because the way you're saying this, it's probably I don't know where you're going.
Oh,
Want to hear a secret?
well, what I was gonna
You're just gonna make a
no,
joke.
what I was gonna say is when Omega turned to the children and said, "On program," and then said,
I knew he was gonna make a joke.
"One way out, one way out, one way."
Guys,
And then Jax goes,
you know,
I like
what are
her
they
trying to
trying to-
rally the kids, and the kids are just like sweet kids, like, no, you'll get used to it.
you get used to it.
She's like, I don't want to get used to it. We're breaking out. Actually, I'm breaking you out now. Can I tell you a
Kino's
secret?
just-
Nate missed last
Kino,
time.
Kino's
We're
just
breaking out, aren't we? We're gonna break out.
Last time Uncle and I started doing this
We were talking about how sweet they were. Why isn't there one kid's like, I'm not doing it?
Where's the Malfoy of the
Take this
group?
We did.
Yeah.
Where's
We
the
said,
Malfoy
"Oh, yeah?"
of the group?
Right.
We said, oh, yeah? Right before I got locked up, I told me mum to shut up. We're like, why do they all stick their teeth out? So we said, why are the kids are so sweet? Why didn't they just kidnap some little turd that they rounded
Oh
up?
yeah,
That we
really cocky with extraordinary strength.
Like, it's
You
so
must be a
fed up in there.
Skywalker.
You must leave. Get him out of here. I don't care if he is the next Jedi. Get
That
him
was part
out.
of our bit. We said they become so bad. The Hemlock said, "Just get out of here, leave.
Go ahead.
Please."
You're
Hemlock's
free.
barring the doors
You're
to keep
free.
them out. Please, just don't come.
Hey,
back.
oh, seriously though, do you think
Just
do you
be
think
Skywalker?
Emery put her in there because she knows that she can't help her, but she knows that Omega will
Knows that Omega will
try
because
to get out.
it's.
I
I
wondered
think
that.
that's
Yeah,
a
I
good theory
think
because
there's-
the other scientists are like, "Don't
Why would
put
you
her
put
in
her in
there."
here?
She's like,
She's too smart for this.
"Shut up, I'm in charge."
Yeah, like you mean that Emery knows that Omega will try and help the kids out?
Yeah,
The rest
she
of them?
might
And
be
then,
able
then
to.
Emery knows
yeah.
that she escaped
and
last
then Emery
time.
can kind of step in
Yeah.
and help when she can. But
Yeah.
Because we definitely
Yeah.
know that Omega has gotten the toy that the little stuffed animal figure actually does symbolize to Omega. Oh, since I've left, Emery has
yeah,
reached out to this child, and there's
Mhm.
some
Compassion.
pathway here. There's some
Mhm.
compassion that maybe I was getting through to
wonder.
her before. Maybe she's seeing things. I mean, she asked her a question point blank and was like, "Where'd the other kids come from?" She's like, "I don't know," and like started kind of
Yeah.
being a little bit more open to her.
I wonder.
But I do love how confidently Omega was talking to the kids, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll never get out of here." And she's like, "I broke out. Guess what? I'm gonna do it again."
Guess what?
What?
I'm gonna do it
Take you
again.
with
me.
Also,
Take you with me.
give me my doll back.
Give me my doll back. That's definitely mine. And Jackson's
made that.
Like, Hemlock! Mommy! Like, you idiot. Over a doll. We were almost out of here.
Really cocky.
What I really can't wait for is when they go into Omega's like the little cell suite area, and they see on the wall the poster,
Yeah,
and then they remove it, and there's the big hole in the wall.
the Raquel Welch
And
poster.
It's really,
they
it's
go
really
through.
an
Just-
Andy
yeah.
Dufresne
It's
moment.
just chiseled away.
It's
Why is
just-
that poster here?
it's just-
Omega, you've been here for 24 hours. How'd you
they
do
cut.
this?
They cut to Omega in the rain outside of Shawshank Prison, and she's
free.
Pulling a baggie with her
she wants
shoes
an
in it.
ale. Yeah, she's
way out.
Yeah,
on
I think
program. Lots of ways out.
I am.
There's many ways out.
turns out I
You
escaped
go through
very
that
easily.
one, that
Escaped
one,
very
that
easily.
one.
Although this time they don't have Crosshair.
They don't.
Although Crosshair was a little shaky last
He
time.
was
so-
useless.
True.
Though.
Yeah.
He was
Omega, Omega did all the work.
She dragged
I will
him
go
around.
with you. I will walk with you.
I'm a sniper. Oh yeah.
I
Oh, you're friendly fire. He's
What's
shot
wrong
me
with
in the back.
I am interested though, like you're saying, to see what Emery's role will be in
What's wrong with
their
me,
escape.
Hand?
If
Yeah.
she'll fully commit to being like, I'm out on this and I'm helping you get out.
Yeah. I think they're gonna need someone else.
Yeah. Do you think?
Distraction or something.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Do the Bad Batch, all of them survive?
I was worried when Echo
No.
came back. I thought Echo could be a very likely death.
Yeah.
Because he's been a part of he's going all the way back to the beginning of Clone Wars.
Yeah.
But they were calling him Echo because he was just repeating those orders.
Right.
Like, dude, shut up.
Right.
I
I think they might.
I love
actually.
Echo. I don't know why. I love his armor and stuff.
No, but I'm saying so because
he
of
is
that,
Lobot.
he could be a meaningful death though.
He is Lobot.
I think that. Yeah. I think they might all survive. Actually.
They
yeah.
might also survive.
Yeah.
Just
might
because
just-
are we
I-
gonna do that? Is that how it's gonna end with Omega having to deal with?
It's just her
I
in
can't
a
see that
pile
being
of
the
bodies.
ending because it
No, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be
maybe.
rough. It feels like there's not enough
With 2
time to
episodes
maybe
left, I
deal
don't think
with the big
so.
death, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
All the
Like,
Batch dies except Omega.
It won't
that would
feel
be
like a
brutal.
victory.
That would be brutal.
I don't know.
I wonder.
True.
I am interested to see how or if they'll have some sort of like Hunter Omega connection as kind of the
Mm.
final, because it seemed like we said, it's something that was kind of sidelined for a bit. There was tension there between Hunter and Crosshair,
Yeah.
and if that will come full circle to Hunter having like a father figure saving Omega moment
Mm.
to kind of wrap that up. I don't know.
Could be.
Is anyone else just really worried about who's feeding Batcher? Like,
I know. He's
just
just
Or
like,
where he
completely-
is? He wasn't in the episode.
when
Was he?
episode, oh, he was in one of the. He was in the one of the.
Was he on the
suits.
ship?
He's in a
he
dog
was in the
suit.
suit.
That feels like a
Who-
Family Guy.
what are you
moment of
taking
like,
this-
this
Badger's-
is-
Badger's the captain. I said, this is.
Would you like to ask Governor Target about this?
If you
No,
have
sir.
an issue-
Right away, sir.
If you have an issue with that, you can ask Governor Tark.
Scratch right behind my ear.
Badger's like,
That's hilarious. Oh my goodness. That's like Barf from Spaceballs. That reminds. This is sort of related,
Barf.
but I was
aren't
just
you a
thinking
little
of John,
short for a stormtrooper? Oh, the helmet. It's Badger.
Uniform.
Badger.
Speaking of John Candy, I
Yeah.
saw this clip the other day of. I saw a hilarious clip from. He was just when we were just talking about Crosshair being shaky as a sniper and like friendly fire and accidentally hitting. I saw this clip the other day from it was Conan O'Brien's like YouTube, his podcast, and he was talking about these John Candy stories. And he said one of his favorite bits, or one of his favorite things ever, and this is on YouTube. I actually looked it up afterwards. He said one of my favorite things from a show I'd ever seen, and this is something I wanted to do on Saturday Night Live, was like this is what got me into comedy. He said John Candy is one of the things that got him into comedy. And he said, I think it was on the Canadian show, it was SCTV.
SCTV.
And he said one of the things that when I wanted to be a
It was
comedian,
actually, I think, Chicago, but
Chicago. Yeah,
They were-
sorry.
they were
Sorry.
Second
It was
City,
Chicago.
but they
It was
were all
Chicago.
Canadians.
It was Chicago. There
Gene
were so
Levy
many
and
Canadians
all
that
the-
were on there. Yes,
Exactly,
yes.
exactly.
It was SCTV of Chicago for sure. And he was talking about this sketch that he was like, this is when I wanted to be a writer, and he got on SNL. He's like, I wanted to do something like this, and it was this sketch of John Candy in a sketch called Yellow Belly, and it's this sketch on SCTV of John Candy as a like an outlaw in like the Old West, and you see him, and he's like nervous, and he's walking through this town, and he's looking at every little sound. He's turning, and like there's a mother and child who walk out the door, and he's like and then he gets scared, and the whole bit is then this child he walks by, and this child goes, Ma, is that him? And the ma goes, that's him, all right. That's Yellow Belly. And then he's just a coward. And then Yellow Belly, this is what Conan says in the show. He said Yellow Belly on the spot turns around and shoots the mother and child in the back. And shoots him in the back. And just keeps on, and they just drop like bodies. And he just keeps on walking. And it's Yellow Belly, the complete coward with he's also no morals. He's shot a woman and child in the back. And Conan said, I watched this and thought, you can't do that on TV. Like, how are they doing this? How can you do this?
That?
And he thought it was both one of the funniest things he had seen. And he's like, if we can tap into whatever these geniuses are doing over here, like we do that with our group on SNL, we'd be great. But I looked it up, and it's actually exactly as he says. It's like a 30. It's 30 seconds long, maybe 20 seconds, and it was a promo.
Is that him?
Yellow Belly coming fall of, and it's just a fake
That's the
show.
whole thing?
That's the whole thing. It's just
That could have been Crosshair's fate.
It could have been.
He shoots the woman child
My goodness.
just because he hears their voice. He gets scared.
Yeah.
That's Yellow Belly. Kills them. I don't know what this had to do with it other than Crosshair could have been Yellow
Crosshair could have been Yellow
Belly.
Belly.
Yellow Belly.
Shaking.
It's just shaking. Oh man.
I wonder if that will
wonder if
be
we'll get-
resolved.
What, Yellow Belly?
Yellow Belly.
Is that him? Is that
him?
Yellow Belly.
That's
Hey!
It's Hemlock
It's
after
Yellow Belly. It's actually
Hemlock after the destruction of Tantus.
it's actually
I have
Clone
named
99
him-
or whatever.
I shall call him Yellow Belly.
Yellow
199.
Yellow Belly is Hemlock at the end, where his hand. I think there's maybe a connection moment.
Oh.
Like he's about to kill him, and
Wait,
and all of a sudden his
there's
gun
a
is
stand-
shaking.
There's a standoff
He's
between
about to-
him and Crosshair, and
Hemlock
they just
and
keep
both
shooting
guys.
and missing each other.
Oh my goodness.
It's Hemlock to Andy. Can't stop.
You guys are
It's-
terrible.
just watching these two. It cuts to the there's a big
all
action
escaping.
scene, and there's all this big stuff going on, and they're rescuing Omega, and then it keeps cutting back to this just standoff.
Blasters.
Then they each both grab their hands. Reset. 30 seconds. Pause.
Hold on.
And then they go. He goes, I was trying to shoot you, and he goes, I was trying to shoot you. And they're both super quiet. What happened to your hand?
Goodness.
I'll tell you first. You tell me first. I'll tell you. And they just said, ah. I love it. No, Bad
man.
Batch is great. 2 episodes left.
2.
I mean,
That's the
Yeah.
mystery of Hemlock's hand. What are we gonna? Anything?
no for I'm wondering if
Just
this
to-
gonna
maybe
be
I
just
think
a
it's
little.
just
Is
a
this
thing.
Grievous's cough? We can find out
Yeah.
maybe in a
Could
comic
be.
or
I
something.
think it's just a thing.
What if he
yeah.
just
I think
sleeps poorly and he
he's-
always sprains his wrist? Every morning he goes, not again. It's
Not-
just not again.
Not again. It's carpal tunnel
It is carpal tunnel.
from
He's a
moving
big
all those
gamer.
Are we ever
papers.
gonna see what's in the like they took us through the room and we saw the kids, but remember
Yeah.
when they showed the actual like tanks?
Is this the same?
I think it was the same. Was it
The
the same room?
vault thing. I think at first we thought there were because we saw the red. I think we thought there was gonna be like vault, or we thought there was like these big vats of like things in it. But I think this
I
maybe
think this
was.
is the room.
This
Yeah.
is it.
We were picturing
We-
just 1,000
I
rows
was
of.
the
Is
picture.
it gonna
the-
be
of
Palpatine,
Palpatine.
or is it in
Is
our
it
defense?
Snoke?
No, it's 4 kids.
In our defense,
Poor kids.
it's
They're
not-
very,
for
very
alien
explicitly
kids.
called this Project Necromancer, the
Yeah.
same project of.
Right.
We didn't think it'd be 3
Yeah.
just colorful children.
Playing.
Like
game,
meaning
playing with
both in
toys.
spirit and in actual.
And
skin
an
tone.
actual.
Like,
Yes.
just we got a blue, a green, and a red.
Mm-hmm. Primary. No. It would have to have, would have, to have yellow.
I
Yeah.
like in this episode, they're like, yeah, this is Jax, and then here's the other two. We finally gave them names because they're like, they've Jax, and I can never remember what the other two's names are. This is Jax, and also Silo.
They kicked out Harvey.
Like-
yeah, because I wouldn't play, would I?
Would I? Filthy mudblood.
His name's Harvey.
Why
Why is it Harvey?
really cocky
His
with
name's probably
extraordinary ability?
His
He
name's
must be a
probably-
Skywalker
Hand down books. Must be a Weasley.
with a hand-me-down robe.
He must be a
red hair, a hand-me-down robe. You must be a Weasley.
Skywalker.
Now, so this is interesting. We've talked about this. I think you and I maybe talked about this in the last episode. I can't remember. Maybe it was a couple episodes. Maybe it was me and you. I don't know. It's been a while since we've all
Could
been
have been.
together.
Yeah.
So we have 2 episodes left. The cloning aspect of Project Necromancer. Are we sure what the children, the Force-sensitive children, are for? Do we think that it's them mixed with Omega's blood? Is that they're like creating? They're just trying to clone Jedi in general. How does that tie into Palpatine with Palpatine's blood? Is Project Necromancer? Because they reference Project Necromancer in Mando. As like this big thing, and then also behind the scenes, though it was not part of Necromancer. Was obviously Gideon doing his own cloning stuff. But we all assume Project Necromancer is the I mean, we've seen
contingency.
Palpatine. We've seen Palpatine in this show, so it's not even like a big leap. He says this is of the utmost importance to continue the Empire. He's trying to clone himself, or he's trying to. So I guess I'm wondering if you have Palpatine. And you can get samples from Palpatine, and you have Omega as the binding agent that they need to keep the midichlorian count high. What is the child? Is there like you need all 3 of them? Is it like you need Palpatine, you need another Force? Is anyone a little confused on that, or is it just like as part of Project Necromancer, we're trying to see, can we clone Jedi? Basically, these Jedi are used in the way that Grogu is used later. Of like,
I think
we're trying to just see, can we take Jedi abilities, especially from children, because we're not going to kidnap an Obi-Wan Kenobi who's going to fight back. They say that pretty explicitly.
Yeah.
This is that why children? Because children don't really know what's going on, and we can kind of manipulate them and do what we need to do.
I think it's that. I think it's they're testing to see if they can transfer the M count of children to see if they can do it without basically testing on like someone like Palpatine or something right now. Seeing if it's possible by keeping them there, they can get as many samples as they need every day. They can test and test. But then Omega is the one that is bridging the gap for that. If you take her sample and mix it, that allows for like that perfect M count transfer.
Could be also that's. I mean, it's always a big guess of like, well, what this leads to Snoke? But maybe that. I mean, there's nothing that suggests that necessarily a clone of Palpatine that went wrong is what leads to Snoke. We don't really know that. We don't know. Meaning, we don't know that Snoke is somehow part of Palpatine's DNA. We know that Palpatine said, "I made Snoke," like that he was behind the scenes.
Whoa, you know what's creepy is he could be Omega's DNA.
Yeah, it could be. Part of Omega's DNA is
Omega is Snoke.
Snoke Crosshair. It's Snoke and Crosshair.
Oh, that is.
It ends up with the 2 things that just hold each other's hands, like going to lead the First Order.
Oh, man.
Hey, see you on the other side, kid.
And they come out.
And they come out and they just come out with a giant bathrobe on. I don't know.
Snoke with Omega's accent.
Oh, man. That's true.
I don't know. No, it's so there's. I feel like we know almost all the answers, but it's like I'm still trying to connect some of those dots of like, okay, I don't know if we'll ever explicitly get exactly.
Well, also,
this is Snoke. This is what they were trying to do when we made Snoke.
I know it's a code name for a project, but Necromancer deals with the dead.
Yeah, that's the dead. Keeping
Necromancer's
the dead
a sorcerer, reviving or dealing with the dead.
Which is kind of
so
why
what
it
does
made
that
me
mean?
think of.
Well, it doesn't have to be dead to be a clone.
That's why it made
Maybe
me
it just
think
means
of the
it's something that's
Palpatine
not
thing,
alive.
Is that Palpatine is like, if I die, this is how you revive. This is how you keep me alive.
A Frankenstein kind of thing.
Yeah.
Of like, if I die, you go to the vat and you bring out Palpatine 2.
2.0.
That's right. Return of Palpatine. So I don't know. So that's why I think we were all kind of surprised initially when they first a few episodes ago opened the vault and it was children. And then I thought, okay, they're doing tests on children. I'm trying to piece together the Necromancer.
I thought it was they had different options. They may have different M count, like high M count, low. We can test different varieties, connections, species, to see
Yeah,
if
could
there's
be.
a drop off. If one species has a better,
Yeah,
we'll go there or not.
Could be, yeah.
Could be.
it's true.
Testing all the different angles.
With 2 episodes left, I don't know if we'll get more of those.
I don't
answers or
know.
not. I
Yeah, I
don't
don't
think
know.
we're getting Boba Fett in this show.
Don't think so.
No.
It's 3 seasons in. I'm pretty
Phasma,
confident
though, I
in
think
saying
we'll get.
Phasma.
We'll get Phasma.
She'll be in the
We'll
shaft
get
helping him
Phasma.
out.
I
Come
think,
this way.
I think we'll definitely get in this last episode. We'll probably definitely get Boba,
Mhm.
Fennec,
Chrysanthemum.
Chrysanthemum, Chrysanthemum.
Of course.
We'll
and the
have
huts.
Garza Flips. Probably
Omega's
her-
gonna
her little
escape on the
casino
Vespas.
place. Yeah, she's out on the
Man.
Vespa over the open water, going, "Oh no, I didn't charge this."
I'm never going to get away.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Mods. They're just calling the mods. Who you gonna
Mods.
call?
Roll out. And they
I
just,
just,
peel out
um,
so slowly.
I just imagine West Side Story where he's
Oh,
running
yeah.
and they catch him.
Oh no! Mods! Mods! Mods!
And
When
they come
you're a
running out.
mod, you're the top of the town. Who just, you little man, you're a mod. You're a mod. You're a king. I would love though.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how
Yes.
it's gonna wrap up.
I want to see.
2 episodes.
Dear Dr. Hemlock, what are we to do? Nobody wants to be another cloning of you.
Star Wars Guys musical.
That's
There
it.
you go.
Starring
Dear
Bad
Dr.
Batch
Hemlock,
musical.
clone you.
Comes back.
Clone You.
That's it. I could see. I could see this finale being. There's 2 episodes left, but the finale
Yeah.
being major. I think
Yeah, I think
this
so.
show has done it before.
Yeah.
They have not. They have not let us down.
It's
on
gonna
the
be
other
good.
Series,
Might be
season
sad, but
finales.
it's gonna be good.
The other series finales of their animated shows have always delivered.
Mm-hmm.
They've always been big.
Yep.
2 episodes left. There's it's sad when one show is gonna end and you're always. I think we talked about this before that I'm always doing like the Star Wars calendar in my head of. Oh
How
man,
long do we have to wait?
How long do we have to wait? When's the next thing? What's the next?
Mhm.
You get a little anxiety of like, man, we had so many shows. We had that investor meeting
Yeah.
in 2020 where they're
Yep.
like, here's the next 5 movies. None of which we've got.
None of
we
them.
got.
But here are the next shows, and those have been very promising because
Mhm.
they did stick to those shows for the most
Yep.
part. I think other than Lando of those shows that and Reigns of the New Republic. But in that investor meeting, they didn't even announce Boba Fett because remember that was a surprise.
That's right.
They
Yeah.
also did get my hopes up on that because now at the end of every live action show, I wait to the end of the credits.
Where's the
and where's
crew?
the,
What are they going to announce?
Okay, there's nothing. They're not going to announce it.
There's
That was
nothing.
a one-time thing. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see the end of this show. We can go to a couple like I know as we got a little bit of time left here before we're wrapping up. A little bit of wider Star Wars topics. So maybe that's the end of our Bad Batch discussion. Unless you all have any other Bad Batch things to
Love it.
discuss, to
I'm
bring
excited
up.
for the last 2
Yep.
episodes.
Do we find out the identity of is it Tech or is it just someone? It's just a guy.
I think it's
There's
just a
2
guy.
episodes
I
left.
think it's just a
just
guy.
a guy. I do too. Just a super soldier kind of type
Yeah.
of thing.
We
Yeah.
may not even see him
I
again.
agree.
don't know.
Maybe
No, we
not.
probably
Yeah.
will. He'll show up.
What if at the end it is Tech, and he's like,
Crosshair needs to take
"I did
him
all
out.
this by choice. Like I actually went bad. I feel
And I'm
horrible
going to
ending.
trump a little bit.
I
Probably
went. It was
Tech.
probably the best. I
The
wanted
best
to show
ever.
you that
I
Tech
had
was.
a great fall. Probably
great
the
fall.
greatest fall you've ever seen.
I
Humpty
wanted to
Dumpty.
show that
Humpty Dumpty could not have had a fall as great as I did. But we're back.
he was the Eggman. We always said, "Hey, Eggy." We love the Eggman, and when you look at Echo, he's just not quite as good with the tech and the arm. I prefer guys with 2 arms, but he's got a little knob sort of a thing. R2 Echo, I call him R2 Echo.
We've got when there's been some articles that have come out in just the last couple weeks about Daisy Ridley getting excited to
Yeah.
do Rey.
Yep.
Do
To
Rey, yeah.
revive Rey. And I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about Daisy Ridley saying just how much different it feels this time around, how she really super is excited to return as Rey, and that's something
That's
that
good.
she said when it ended, I didn't know. But she said, I loved my time on that, but it's I love she's had some good perspective of like she had a couple quotes that came out. I think it was an Empire magazine article where she was like, yeah, I understand that like the last couple films that I was involved in were divisive for people, like one way or another. I loved it. I'm super excited about it, and basically I'm really excited to be back. So I love that it's like some actors for sure could go with it was super divisive, and also because of that I'm kind of
soured on
just
it.
soured on
Right,
the whole
right.
thing and don't really want to be a part of it, or don't want to, but she's like, I really enjoyed working with
They
those people.
pay
I
you.
enjoyed doing
Yeah.
it. The story that I've been presented with to this point sounds very interesting. And she also said in her thing, she's like, listen, technically I was an adult, but I was like a kid when I got cast in that.
Yeah.
And had never really worked on any movie production set, and all of a sudden I'm thrown into Star Wars. Since then, like I've had a career, and I've had like obviously I'm still going in my career, but I've worked on other things, and I'm very excited to be back, and I think I really like full circle appreciate what this is.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
then I started doing the math in my head of she was cast. This is what's crazy. She was cast. Disney bought Star Wars in 2012. In like 2013, I believe it was, they did the casting for The Force Awakens. 2014, it was shot, and they came out with the first teaser in 2014, a full 13 months before.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Which will just no movie is ever going to do a 13-month teaser. I don't think
No.
anymore. But when you think of she was cast in like 2013, by the time her movie comes out, this movie, because obviously they haven't even come close to beginning. They haven't even. I don't think they have a final script yet, but they're working on the script. I think she said in this interview that like within the month she's supposed to be reading the script, like the first draft of the script, and kind of obviously stuff changes when she starts going. But when this movie comes out, likely in, I think what the plan is, likely 2026 maybe, because they did say Mando is May 2026 now. Mando and Grogu, they officially announced that date. So if they're still going to do 2 that year, which they initially then said they were going to do in December, it might be bumped because of the writer's strike. It might be bumped to the following year. But 2026, 2027, somewhere along those lines, we're looking at 14-ish years, basically, since she's been cast as Rey. And you just think,
time.
man, that's a long time
Yeah.
of being with that character, being around the fandom that's involved in that character, and then also thinking, this is a cool thing that we did not get with our original cast of Star Wars. Like, imagine if Luke Skywalker
Came back that soon.
Yeah, imagine if you've got Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, and obviously Harrison Ford coming back in their 40s, and Harrison being 50 because he was older.
Yeah.
Playing a 40-year-old Luke Skywalker.
Wow.
And just actually in real time lining up with the character. It's funny because they announced that this would be like 15 years after it's supposed to be Rise of Skywalker. As far as story wise, it's not going to be too far off. I mean, we'll be closer to like almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Probably 8 years as far as actual real life time between.
Yeah, but it's
that,
going.
but
It's
yeah.
close enough.
But it's
gonna
close
be
enough that it's
the-
like
yeah.
seeing
feel
them
like the
actually in
real
that
thing.
proper age doing it, and not just like kind of reluctantly 30 years later,
Yeah.
like, I guess I'll do Star Wars again, but kind of jumping right back into it is just an exciting thing to see a different stage of her life, because a Rey at 21 is very different than a Rey at 38.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of, I'm trying to think of a scenario. It's kind of rare to see a live action Jedi mature off screen and then come back fully realized. Have we actually had that before?
I don't think other than
Because we
you go
had-
from like Annie to like Attack of the, but he's like goes
Even
from child to late teen 20.
Right,
Like,
even
it's not
still.
that's
Yeah.
not a maturity thing.
It's not
That's
like
not a full
watching.
maturity.
We've had a little bit of that with Mando, seeing Luke come back,
Yeah.
but not.
But
I
even
don't
Luke,
know.
and we talked about this a little bit. The Luke thing, as cool as it was, and as much as it mattered for the story for Mando and Grogu, it was intentionally not a. We're going to tell you a lot about Luke in this time period. It didn't tell us
Exactly.
anything about Luke
No.
other than he's what we
Yeah.
expected, which is
Yeah, what it
he would
fits.
help. He would help
with the
someone
story.
in need.
He would
Right.
have been the one to hear the call, essentially, is what they said.
But
Yeah.
we
If
didn't.
If anybody
we
were to
didn't
hear
get learn a
Grogu
lot
reaching
about
out
him.
with the Force,
It
Luke
would
would have
be
felt
Mace.
it.
Yeah, we
Oh,
learned
yeah,
more.
Luke.
We learned more
Right.
about Luke in Book of Boba Fett for sure, as far as his doubts of training and.
But not
Yeah.
anything outside of that.
But
Not
not
anything else
outside-
he's been
yeah.
doing.
Yeah, we don't know anything as
Yeah.
far as his missions. What is his focus at that time, other than he's starting the school. He's trying to start training.
Mhm.
So I'm excited. I'm excited for this. We'll see kind of what the what the connections will be to Rise of Skywalker, as far as like how many of them return. I don't think. I mean, I don't think it really makes any sense, obviously, for Adam Driver to be in it, because
Darth,
it's the
hello
end of his
there.
character.
Mhm. Right.
I don't think. I mean, Finn. I mean, Ray or definitely Finn probably makes the most sense of the returners because of his connection to Ray, and like
Rey.
you could totally tell a Ray story without it involving Poe, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Right.
Just because he's not on
Yeah.
the Jedi path, even though he's close. It would
And
make
Finn
sense he's
is.
there,
They tease that.
but he is. Yeah.
Okay, listen.
So I don't know. We'll see. I'm just excited for it. I
If
just
Sa-
wanted to talk more. Star
At this
Wars.
point, if Sabine can become a Jedi, I think Finn's chances are pretty good.
Pretty
Oh,
good.
we're talking Star Wars.
No, pretty good.
We're talking.
Especially since he's already shown signs of
Yeah. Could be.
feeling like recognizing Rey, and
Mhm.
especially in the Rise of Skywalker,
The
they teased
connection.
it a bunch.
Mhm.
Wee woo, wee woo. Star Wars soapbox alert.
Uh-oh.
Also, my
Oh.
Star Wars soapbox is a very British ambulance or something. Wee woo, wee woo.
Very British in it.
Oh yeah, I want one of those nice British like cop police helmets with like the lips on both the
She
front.
call you
and back.
Bobby.
Um,
Is it Bobby?
the yeah, exactly. What I not a soapbox moment. I was kind of joking, but when you brought up the Sabine, we
Yeah.
talked about this a little bit off camera, but not to be that guy who's like, oh, if you look into the weeds too much, you can. Because any of these Star Wars movies, if you really are like, why did they do that? You can. I mean, there's a lot of things you can always poke fun at or go, oh, they should have done this or should have done that. But just to throw this out there, if I was a Jedi in the time of limited Jedi, so in the time post Revenge of the Sith,
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's say any of the time from Rebels leading up to Luke Skywalker being a 19-year-old and you know
'Kay.
them bringing him into the fold.
Yeah.
I know we can take the Obi-Wan route of like we're in hiding because they're hunting down the Jedi. I'm just gonna wait until Luke's of age, and we're kind of putting our chips into the Luke basket, all our
Mhm.
eggs in the Luke basket, and saying this is, you know, he is a new hope, and that boy is our last hope. There's another, and you've got that kind of like, okay, we're really counting on them to be the ones who are going to lead us out of this. But if you go through the Ahsoka show route,
Mhm.
and anyone can be a Jedi with the proper training, maybe the opposite should have been the. Now, I do think there's some questions here. You could raise some red flags might pop up, and the Empire might find you and get you. But if I'm Obi-Wan or if I'm Yoda, and really midichlorian is important, but it's not everything.
Mhm.
And waiting for Luke just because he has potentially a high midichlorian count,
Mhm.
waiting for him while there's all this destruction going on in the galaxy and feeling like he is the last Jedi or he's the last chance for the Jedi. If you really take the Ahsoka Sabine route, we should have been just going to any village and just anybody, hey, who wants to be a Jedi? And like, obviously I'm saying that tongue in cheek, but like, if we train as many people as possible,
Hands aren't flying up. What's the problem? here?
if we train as many people as
Be hunted.
possible,
Yeah.
you don't want
Right.
to be hunted down?
you'll be,
Right.
listen, even better. Yeah,
I have a
here's
theory
here's
on
a big
that.
flaw. Here's a big flaw in my plan already. You sir can be a Jedi. Now I will say, based on your initial read of my initial read of you have a very low ceiling. You'll be hunted by Darth Vader.
And probably not be able to have many
And
power. We won't be able to do much.
the
No.
planet where we go get your kyber crystals is very far away. You probably won't have a lightsaber for a
Might be a
while.
little bit of a trip.
But in theory,
Theory.
If you
You
study with
could.
me,
If things work
if
out,
Ezra jumps from a ship, you could give him a nice little boost with the proper training. It won't be on your first try, but
and
you could
years
give a
and
nice
years
little
of
boost.
it.
What do you say? You want to go get slaughtered? Like, that's a tough sell. But
I have a theory about that.
yeah, let's.
My theory is that
I do think you
Darth,
are
we'll get to
immediately
these
raising
questions here in a
awareness, you can
second.
be done.
just like a lot of ideas throughout the galaxy, not everybody would adhere to Ahsoka's theories.
Yeah, true.
True.
I mean, even Sabine. Even
Obi-Wan
Sabine's
may not
yeah.
hold with that
Oh, true.
theory.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? It
Oh,
could
well,
be that
'cause
he's
he
like,
also comes from a traditional Jedi
That's
line. Where
right.
Ahsoka, they say in the show, she's an untraditional. She's not a traditional Jedi.
that's right.
Anakin was not a traditional
So-
Jedi, and Obi-Wan.
The whole
is
point
a
was
more
that
traditional
she's
Jedi.
She doesn't do things like her. So
Doesn't
it
do
could be
things
that
like
this
that.
is something that
it's
True.
just Ahsoka.
Ahsoka's
Yeah.
wrong.
Could
No,
be, yeah.
she could just be
Ahsoka's just
open
Different
to other
mission.
things. Could
Yeah.
be.
And I do think there's definitely something to the fact that unless you have someone like Sabine who already can take care of herself because
Mhm.
she's a warrior,
Right.
training a regular civilian and saying, "Hey, do you want to come be a Jedi?" And they're like, "What's that?" And they're like, "Well,
You have to
Well,
you
move
get
rocks
do this,
and
like, you
stuff.
have to do like as soon as any villain, Inquisitor or such finds out that the term Jedi is being thrown around in your town, they're
Mhm.
gonna go hunt down whoever's being trained.
Right.
And Sabine still struggles, obviously, in the Ahsoka show.
Right.
Shin gets her at first, gets her in the gut. So even she, who's a Mandalorian fighter, has trouble going up against
Mhm.
people who are trying to take them out. The regular person is probably not going to
Gonna
survive.
have
very long.
Yeah.
Gonna be tough.
But if you had any place,
Yeah,
you
you
had
might
any
want to.
place where you could get just a little bit more of like, instead of waiting 19 years for Luke,
Let's work with what we
um,
have.
let's see if we can, if there's any middle ground of, hey, we get a few people that were like, hey, I identified you as a good fighter in the rebellion.
Yeah.
Let's train, let's try it. If it doesn't take.
Mhm.
But
we got 18 years to try.
listen,
You get help. I got
if
nothing
you
else to do.
could, listen,
I'm just
if
cutting raw
you-
meat here. I
if
can
you
do
could.
something.
now,
Think
could
about it.
move that little glass of water a little closer to your hand without even touching it.
High
I'm
hope.
Hey,
just
would you
saying-
like to devote hours of your
High
day to
hope.
the
Think
rest
about
of
it. Think
Think
about. Think about it.
Think about it.
Think about it.
Pretty
Um,
good. Pretty
Darth
Jedi.
in the
Pretty
chat.
cute.
You're right. I was
Pretty
not
cute.
here last week, and so he said, I don't know if you guys already talked about it, but would love to hear Nate's take on Outlaws. Did you guys talk about Outlaws last week? You
Did.
did, right? Yeah.
We did.
Yeah, so
It
we
dropped
won't do
some
it.
more,
so we won't do it. No, I'm just
It dropped some
I,
more bad
um,
stuff on the season pass thing. We talked a
Yeah,
little bit
we
about
Some
that.
more what?
Bad news on the
Yeah.
season pass issue where there's some content vital to one of the missions is locked.
It's
Uh-huh.
locked.
I think
yeah.
I heard is it the Jabba one that did you hear? Is
Portions
yeah, I
of it,
saw
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Portions of the Jabba.
Anyway,
But no,
Uh,
we did say trailer looks cool.
That
Yeah.
could be
We definitely
changed.
talked
We don't
about
know.
yeah,
They could
things
end up
you gotta wait
changing
and
that.
see what happens.
Yeah.
They could end up changing some of that. I think it looks cool. Obviously, it's hard to. I'm excited about the timeline, the story,
Yeah.
the open world aspect. It seems like there's a lot of freedom of play that's within the game.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's tied in enough with some similarities that we like. Some similar things and characters we know, but also its own
Mhm.
thing. So I'm excited for it. But I don't know. We'll see when it comes out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like to, especially when it comes to like games and stuff. I like to not.
Get too far
You can make a
ahead.
trailer for a game, and it's not like you make a trailer for a movie. That's what you're like. You're seeing those.
That's
that
right.
stuff.
Yeah.
Video game trailers are different because that's just they're
Mhm.
like they'll make like these cinematic trailers and stuff where it's not actually the gameplay. I
Right.
mean, they have revealed gameplay footage and stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm
Cuts-
excited
they throw
for
in
it.
all the
but-
cutscenes.
Yeah. So I'm excited for it, but
I'm
I don't know what it will be like
get it.
until it. Yeah,
I'm gonna get it.
it's a star. Listen, if it's a Star Wars game, I'm getting it.
Mhm.
I'm getting it. Also, Darth said the script for the Rey movie is apparently finished. Can't wait for it, honestly.
Ooh.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can't wait either. We're excited. We're excited for it. It's gonna be. I'm just.
wait.
Even though it's not, because I've always said I want Star Wars to go to like a different time period and kind of like start a fresh like different timeline thing. this kind of feels like that, even though it's not like a like Old Republic or High Republic. It's in the future in a time where like we don't know.
We have no idea what.
We have
Yeah,
no idea
we
where
just have that
where it
one
could go.
connection. Yeah.
Yeah, we just know one. We know one character essentially. So I don't
And
know.
I think it would be cool if it's her own thing.
Yeah.
And everybody else is new. It could be
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Could be.
I think
It'd be
so,
cool
too.
seeing her. I'm sure there'll be some new Jedi she's been training, or I
Mhm.
don't know.
That'd be really cool.
I'm predicting she's on an island and doesn't teach anyone and has shut herself off.
The
from
whole
Force.
thing is
Yes.
just her. It's Hermit Ray.
I like it.
You're not busy.
I
You're
bet
not
it's
I've seen
just,
your
I've seen your
schedule.
schedule.
I'm
I
not
bet
busy.
it's just her and Mark
Just
Hamill
kidding.
the whole movie, and it's just him. It's
I
good.
predict-
It's just her and
It's just
her and Force Ghost Hamill playing chess.
Mark
playing hollow
Hamill's like,
chess.
how many times they bring me back? Even though he loves it.
Every
like,
move you
every
just
single
made
time,
was
they're like,
wrong.
This is your last one. Last Jedi. That's a wrap on Mark Hamill, everyone.
Yay.
The next movie, they're like, he's a Force Ghost. That's a wrap on Mark Hamill, everyone.
JJ.
Now
do you feel
he's in
about
Book of
chess?
Boba Fett. That's a wrap on
That's-
Mark Hamill, everyone.
Hey, Mark.
I
Mark,
predict-
Mark, we got
actually,
a great idea. Shorts.
predict
We're
the
gonna do Tales of
opposite.
the Jedi. Luke Skywalker. You want to come back? Voice it. That's a wrap.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I predict the opposite.
He would though.
She'll be full in. She won't be shut off. She'll be
Yeah,
teaching.
I
Yeah,
agree.
she'll be. Yeah.
I
I'm
think we'll
I'm
definitely
almost
see the
most
start
interested
of
to
that
see
school.
what the new threat would be.
Mm.
Like, what's the new? Is
The
it,
final order.
I think it'll be.
The final order.
I think
You've
it'll
got
just be
you've got the first. Well, you've
second.
got the first order and the final order,
The
right?
third-
That's-
right. Could be
so
the
now we've
third
got
order.
The middle
the
order.
middle
The
order.
pentultimate order.
penultimate-
The tertiary
the
order.
alternate order. The alternate.
The final order 2. This is Death Star 2.
Yeah,
That's it.
it'll be.
One
Yeah.
more order.
One more order.
I wanted a pizza with cheese on it. You want to come and jam with cheese?
the Bad Batch pizza parlor.
Hello, Dex.
I flipped the cheese on the ceiling.
Racker. Anyway, Bad Batch.
Yeah.
We love
There you
that
have
guy.
it.
Then we
got
bring it
through a
all
lot
back.
of stuff. Some
Yeah.
current, some news. Bad Batch, where things are going. Made some
Yeah.
predictions. Talked about Outlaws. Talked about Ray's movie coming out. We're excited. There's a lot of stuff. May 4th coming up. Like you said, a lot of things coming out. Acolytes
Tales
coming
of the
out
Empire,
soon.
We're going to introduce a new Star Wars Guys segment coming up here after Bad
True.
Batch is over.
Yes. Yeah.
Star Wars Guys Soapbox.
Star Wars Soapbox.
That's
where
our
I,
one little
where I
bit
talk,
where we can
where
be
I
mad.
dabble, being a little negative.
Dabble just a little bit.
This guy. Has he not learned anything? You can't dabble in the dark side. This guy.
Dabble.
I have learned nothing from the morals and teachings of the Star Wars.
No, you can't dabble in the dark. You go
This
go.
guy.
Once
gotta go
dabble,
full on.
Forever will it dominate your destiny. So say so long.
So we're going.
So say farewell to Lightside Mike because
He's going dark.
that was his
Bravo.
other nickname, Lightside
Bravo
Mike.
six.
They called him.
Going
Some people
duck.
said Magic Mike, but then that was stolen. That was taken to a different place.
Lightside
It was
Lightside Mike.
Lightside Mike. No, the
No,
no.
we're going to talk about
It-
some stuff
well,
we may have
in fun,
It's not
yeah.
like Mike. It's
We'll
light
be
Mike.
preferences.
We might talk about
It's light Mike. He puts
Light
on
Mike.
Anakin's
Light
glove
Mike.
and becomes.
Mike can be
Ooh.
He
Light
puts
Mike.
on Anakin's glove and just
That's it.
becomes
That's
Light
it.
Mike.
light Mike.
No, we might. Yeah, a little teaser. We might talk about short acolyte runtimes. We might talk
Yes.
about. Boba wanting a job and then finding out he doesn't want the job,
Yeah.
which is
Some
true.
Boba
That's a real
thoughts.
life. That's a real world thing.
It
I
is.
just don't usually.
Careful what you wish for.
Yeah, it just happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, I want to be a crime lord, and then I do it,
I
and
don't
then I
think I
become a
do.
crime lord, and I think this did not fill the hole in my heart. I thought that it
They're ever gonna reveal the book?
The book.
The book.
Remember how we all made predictions of what that would be like? Each chapter, like they're gonna
The
jump.
book
in
of
time.
Boba Fett. What can that mean?
I did that because
nothing.
the books are usually better than the movie. That's why.
That's so we'll just call it the book of
The
Boba
book
Fett.
of Boba Fett.
The book of Harry Potter. The book of that's it.
That's
the
it.
way to do it.
Well,
So yeah, we'll have fun with that.
Yep.
yeah. There you have it. Star Wars guys. All three of us together again.
Look at us together
Sounds
again
like the ending.
For the first
the first
time.
For the
time.
first time. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. If you made it this far, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and smash the notification bell. We will catch you guys in the next one. And as always, may the Force be with you.
One way
Way
out.
One way out.
One way
out.
on program.
One way out.
One way. I love it.
Guys,
One
you
Omega
gotta
leading
see
the-
Star Wars Symphony. It's so good.
I went Star Wars Symphony.
Yeah, I just shortened it.
You gotta see Star Wars Symphony.
The Simpsons.
The Simpsons.